Rita. All right, I'll remember that. I'll try to remember that. All right. Everyone, welcome to Glecta. I think some of you are taking the class for the first time, right? And some of you are my regular students as well. Now, let me introduce myself first of all. My name is Arena, and I take the mathematics classes over here. So in today's lecture, I'm going to be taking I'm going to be teaching you guys algebra. For those of you who are completely new to Glecta, we are an online-based platform and we also provide classes face-to-face as well. So if you want any specific classes, revision courses, rapid courses, regular classes, right? So we have our numbers on the team. The team will drop you the text and everything. All right. And you can contact them. In today's lesson, like I said, I'm going to be starting with algebra. All right. So my first topic is quadratic equations. Now, before I actually start with the topic, guys, I would want to know how many of you are aiming for higher. Like, please just raise your hand, or you can text me as well. Okay. Rita, Mamoon, Tam, and everyone is aiming for higher. All right. And how many of you are doing it for foundation? Anyone who's doing it for foundation? Nihir, you're still raising your hand. Okay, Nihir, you're doing it for foundation. All right, who else? Anybody who has not switched on their camera and they are doing it for foundation? Shazi, I'm not sure about you because your camera is not switched on. All right, okay. So I'll be doing the mixed practice questions today. Our target would be to start from the grade 5 concepts and I'll go up till grade 7 and grade 8. All right. All right. Yes, Mahmoon, I know that you are also right now doing it for that and you're aiming for higher. Yes. Okay. So 1 second. Let me lower down your hand here. 1 second. All right. Yeah, done. Great. Okay. So first topic that I'm going to start is quadratic equations. Can anyone tell me what do you understand by quadratic equations? Yes, guys. Raise your hands. I would want you guys to stay active, keep interacting. I should know how much you already know and how much I need to tell you guys. So you guys tell me, how many of you know what are quadratic equations? You can stay active on the text box. All right, my moon says algebra, letters, solving. Yes, all of that, but that could be in general and for any equation, right? Yes, quadratic equations, guys. Over here, when we talk about quadratic equations, any equation which has an x squared term in it and the highest power of x is 2, that's when you call it as a quadratic equation. All right, yes, Tam has given me the correct answer, but a slight restriction on that. Along with having the x squared term, okay, if I have, let's say, 2x squared plus 5 equals to 0, it's a quadratic equation. If I write 3x squared plus 5x plus 9 equals to 3, yes, this is also a quadratic equation. But if I write 4x cubed plus 100x squared plus 2x plus 5 equals to 0. Now, this is not a quadratic equation. Why? Because it has an x cubed term in it. All right. The highest power of x should be 2. If it's not equal to 2, then it's not a quadratic equation. All right. So in general, we write the general form as ax squared plus bx plus c equals to 0. On the right side, it should be equal to 0. This is what we do in general. For example, now, if I write 2x squared plus 5x minus 3 equals to 0. Over here, if I compare, a is the number that is getting multiplied by x squared. B is the number that I have along with x. And please do not forget the sign. C would be negative 3. Minus because there is a negative sign in front of 3. All right. Then if I write 2x squared minus 9x plus 3 equals to 5. It's easy to figure out A, that's 2. B is minus 9. But if you guys say that, okay, Miss C is 3, No, it is not. On the right side, we need a 0. How do I get a 0 on the right side? I need to take away 5 on both the sides, isn't it? So when you do 3 take away 5, your answer for C would be -2. This is one thing that you have to keep clear in your mind. All right. Now we are studying quadratic equations and everything, right? Can anyone tell me where do we actually use quadratic equations in our day-to-day life? Any clues, guys? Okay, if I read your, okay, Tam says graphs. All right. So when I draw graphs of quadratic equations, yes. How to learn and how to remember the graphs of quadratic equations? With a smile. When there is positivity in life, I always say, we smile, right? So when the x squared term, that is this a that we have, if that's positive, it's a smiling shaped graph, right? When we have 2x squared, 3x squared, 5x squared in our equations, it would be a smile shaped graph. When a is negative, like if I have a minus x squared, minus 3x squared, something like that, when we are like when there is negativity in life, we cry, isn't it? So this is the shape of the graph. But again, coming to my question, this is something that you do in your books. This is something that you do on your paper. In real life, in day-to-day life, where are we actually using it? Do you guys observe it anywhere? Any anything where you are following this trajectory or this trajectory? Yes, guys? Nihir says no. All right. Nihir, you tell me, have you ever seen a game of basketball? You can unmute yourself there. Yeah, tell me.
Yeah,
Ever
yeah,
seen anyone playing basketball?
yeah,
Can you see that this would be the shape of the, you know, this would be the trajectory or the motion of the ball in this direction? Like when you throw a ball upwards, how does a ball pop? Like this, right?
yeah,
Yes, now you're reminded of that, right? Although we are unable to relate it, we never really think of it in that way. But yes, this is nothing but the motion of the ball when you're throwing. So quadratics, right? It's a motion that is being followed up. Physics is very, very related to mathematics, very much related to mathematics. All right. So that you're not realizing it, but you're using it in day-to-day life while playing volleyball, throw ball. You're throwing your ball. There is a trajectory that that ball follows up, isn't it? Quadratic equations. All right. Okay. I hope everyone has noted down this general thing. Now I'm going to be starting, to discuss factorization. Now, factorization is opposite of expanding brackets, putting back brackets, right? So when I talk about factorizing brackets, I'm going to make you guys write down a simple rule, and you'll get a clear idea of what exactly we are doing when we do the questions. So when the general form of the equation is given, like any equation in this form is given to you, then you always find out a pair of numbers such that when you add them up, you get the number in the middle. And when you multiply them up, you get the product of the extremes. All right. Now, there are two types of questions. Now, you guys see in front of each and every topic that we'll be doing today, I have mentioned the grade as well for which it is asked. If A is 1, it's asked for grade 5. All right. There could be a 2 mark or a 3 mark type of question. If A is not equal to 1, then that would be asked for grade 7. If A is not equal to 1, that would be for grade 7. And we would be using different concepts. All right. Although the concept is actually the same, but it's just that when A is equal to 1, I'll tell you a shortcut that you can directly use. All right. It's a direct thing that we can do. I hope everyone has noted this thing down. Now I'm going to come to the questions. If the question is just about factorizing, it's asked for 2 marks. If it's asking you to solve an equation, right? Although Over here, it's in parts. So, of course, this part would be asked separately. It would be for 1 mark, but otherwise, it's asked combined, like just solve the equation, and it would be a 3-mark question, right? So, over here, first of all, you need to figure out what's A, B, and C. The general form was ax squared. See, whatever I'm writing, that's just for you guys to understand. All of this is not really required in the exam, whatever I'm writing in red. I'll change the ink when I'll have to write down exactly what's supposed to be written in exam. So when I compare it with the general form, A is 1, B is -7, and C is 10. All right. So over here, what do we do? Figure out two numbers such that when you add them up, the sum is the number in the middle, -7. And when you multiply them up, you get 1 times 10 AC, right? That's what you noted down. So over here, look at all the factors of 10. 1 times 10 is 10. 2 times 5 is 10. These are the only two possible pairs that I can have. But if you see 2 plus 5, guys, that's 7, not -7. I need a -7 over here, right? So you can take up -2, -5. When you multiply -2 and -5, negative negative becomes positive, right? This gives us 10. But otherwise, it would be -10 if I take one of them as 10, one of them as negative, right? So I'm getting -2 and -5. So this one is pretty direct. You can directly write it as x -2 in one bracket, x -5 in another bracket. This is my answer. Factorization done right. Now, when I say I'm multiplying two numbers and I'm getting the product as 0, on the right side, we have a 0. Now, see, guys, 2 times 3, 4 times 8, 9 times 7 will never ever give you 0. If you want the answer to be 0, at least one of them has to be 0. You do 0 times 7, 0 times 8, 0 times 9, or 3 times 0, 5 times 0, right? That's when you get a 0. So either the first bracket is 0 or the second bracket is 0. That means either x is equal to 2 or x is equal to 5. So these are the two answers that we shall be getting. In your exams, whenever you're solving quadratic equations, until and unless it's a word problem, if it's just this kind of equation, solve this equation, remember you will be getting two answers. If it is a word problem, in most of the word problems, they are talking about length, areas, and all of that. In those cases, we ignore the answer which is negative or which is not possible. In that case, we will have to see and we will have to choose the option. All right. Are you guys done with this part? Is everyone clear with this one? Thumbs up or thumbs down, guys? Should we do one more of this similar type or shall I move on to the next question if you guys are thorough with this? You guys can text me, please stay active on text everyone. Text me. Are you guys thorough with this or shall we do one more? Just text me one more if you want me to go over one more question. All right, let's do one more then. Over here, when we have this thing. Now see, in general, I told you the quadratic equation general form is ax square plus bx plus c equals to 0. Do we have a 0 on the right side? No. So your first step would be to get a 0 on the right side. How do we do that? Subtract 12 on both the sides, right? Now we have a 0. Compare. A is 1, B is -1, C is -12. So you need a pair of numbers such that when you add them up, you get -1. When you multiply them up, you get -12. AC, that was the rule, right? Look at all the factors of 12. 1 times 12, 2 times 6, 3 times 4, right? There is no other factor. Only 3 and 4 have a difference of 1, right? So now see, if the sum is negative and it's -1, right? So you're technically seeing one number as positive, other as negative. Now, of course, if you're getting the answer as negative, then the bigger number is negative. So you have -4 and +3. -4 times 3 gives you a -12, right? So simple. Your answer would be x take away 4 in one bracket, x plus 3 in another. On the right side, we had a 0. Now put the brackets equal to 0 individually. Separately, write x minus 4 as 0. Separately, write x plus 3 as 0. These are the two answers that we shall be getting. Yeah? I hope everyone is done with this part. Yes? All right. So now I'm going to move on to the higher part, right? So over here, when we come to the higher part, when A is not 1, over here, A is 3, B is 7, C is -6, grade 7. We follow the middle term splitting method. Just go by the name of this method, middle term splitting. The concept is still the same. How you start your question is still the same. You need to think of two numbers such that when you add them up, you get the number in the middle, which is 7. Then, when you multiply them up, you get this number. 3 times -6, -18. I told you that you need sum as B and product as AC, right? Same concept like we used to do the previous one. Now over here, what we have to do is look at all the factors of 18. 1 and 18, 2 and 9, 3 and 6. So which of them would add up to 7? 9 take away 2 would give us 7, right? So now instead of writing directly, we have to split the middle term. 7 can be written as 9 take away 2. That's it. So 3x square plus 9x minus 2x minus 6 equals 0, right? So over here, now consider two equations, two parts at a time. Over here, I'm going to take them, since I'm taking them two at a time. These are my first two terms. Then these are my next two terms. Factorize them. If I factorize the yellow part, 3x is common, x plus 3. Next, my green part, -2 is common, and then I have x plus 3. Now, guys, always remember one thing, that whenever you are factorizing this thing, right, it's always done in a way that you always, always, and always are going to get these two brackets as the same. X plus 3 over here, x plus 3 over here. If these brackets are different, you know that you will have to recheck your entire calculation. They cannot be different. All right, they have to be the same. Only then this method would work. X plus 3 in one bracket. From here, I have 3x. From here, I have -2. This is what we are having. So x equals -3 and x equals 2 over 3. This is what we are going to get when we put this brackets separately equal to 0. Go through all these steps. Again, this is a 3 marks question. Go through all these steps. See if you have any confusion in any step. Text me, guys. Stay active on text. Text me if you have any confusion in any step. I'll repeat that particular step. I'm waiting. And if you guys are done, then just give me a thumbs up. Over here, how we are factorizing in this part, 3x square, one second, I'm writing it down on the right side. 3x square plus 9. I'm mentioning this factorization over here. 3x square is basically 3 times x times x. 9 is 3 times 3. When we have to factorize, whatever is common is taken outside the brackets. From here, okay, we have x as well. So times x. X is also common. Take that outside the brackets. So you would be writing 3x over here. From here, you have x. From here, you have 3. So this is how I have written 3x times x plus 3. Similarly, when I talk about this minus 2x minus 6, right? This is negative 2x minus 2 times 3. So negative 2, negative 2. This is common, right? So when you're taking a minus 2 common x, and since you've taken a minus outside the brackets, inside you'll be left with plus. So that's what I have written. Everyone done? Guys, please tell me, are you guys done? I am pretty sure that if you guys were taking this class offline, right, you would have been interacting way too much over here, and then I would be the one who would be like, okay, guys, stay quiet, stop talking, all of that. Right now, everyone is sitting silently. Okay, I can see most of you are done. And since nobody's saying no, miss, we are not done. So I'm going to move on to the next one. I'm going to give you guys 2 minutes to quickly solve this one. You guys have 2 minutes. Actually, 1 minute by my watch. I've started down the countdown. And I can ask anyone to explain me. Either you guys volunteer or I will have to pick up anyone from my choice then. 60 seconds. Okay, since Nihir says that he's done, so Nihir, can you tell me what would be the values of A, B, and C over here?
What?
What would be
A,
the
B, and
values
C.
of A, B, and C? Yeah,
Oh, for the second one, my bad.
you did the
So,
first one?
yeah.
Oh, I wanted the second one, but okay, no problem. Let's discuss this one. Time up already. So yeah, you tell me. What would be A, B, and C? This can be told directly, right?
So I'm not sure. I didn't do that one.
Over here, for A, you have to see the number that is along with x square. Mamoon, very good. Given me the correct answer for A and B. A is 5. B is the number that is along with x. C is the third number, but over here we have a minus sign in front of it. So it would be negative 12, right? Now I would want Chirtharmani to tell me what would be the sum and what shall be the product. Yes, darling?
My name is Naisha, but I can't change it over here.
Oh, all right. Sorry, Naisha. Okay, I'll remember that. So you tell me, Naisha?
The sum is -1.
Why would it be negative 1, darling?
So,
When we have an equation of this form, right? The sum is the number that is given to us in the middle, and the product is the multiply the numbers that are given at the corners, A and C, right? So now you compare and tell me, what shall be the sum?
The sum is 11.
Right, and product?
The minus 16.
Correct, negative 60. Now I would want Tam to tell us that, can you find out two such numbers, Tam? Where I add them up, I get 11, and multiply them up, I get negative 60.
15 and minus 4.
Very good. So now, using the middle term splitting method, I can write 11 as 15 minus 4, right? And then you take two terms at a time. Guys, I'm highlighting it for you so that you don't get confused. Yellow terms have to be factorized separately, and then you'll separately factorize these green terms. All right, so we have 5x times x plus 3 minus 4 times x plus 3. X plus 3 in one bracket, and in another bracket, I have 5x from here, and I have minus 4 from here. So now I'm going to separately put these brackets equal to 0. So this is what we are going to have. X is equal to negative 3 and x is equal to 4 over 5. These are our two answers. All right? Take a quick note of it. And after this, see, we did these questions of factorization, grade 5 topic, when A is not equals, A is equal to 1, grade 5, when A is not equal to 1, grade 7. All right. This is quadratic factorization. After this, we have quadratic formula. Again, finding out A, B, and C. That's the real deal over there. Are you guys done noting down with this particular part of the question? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Rita and Aisha, are you guys done? All right, great. Okay, what about others? I cannot see everyone on the screen. Tayab, Shazi, Nihar. Yes? All right, since everyone is done. So now moving on to these kinds of questions. See, this is also looking like a quadratic, this is a quadratic equation for this one. But the term of x is missing, right? Remember one thing, guys, whenever the term of x is missing, always think of using dots. What's dots? Difference of two squares. One question will definitely be asked either directly or indirectly where you would be using this difference of two squares. All right. So over here, I can take 5 common, divide by 5. X squared, take away 16. And wherever I see difference of two squares, how do we factorize it? Add the terms in one bracket, subtract the terms in another bracket. This is what you're always going to do, right? So this is basically x squared take away 4 square, right? So x plus 4 times x take away 4. I have divided by 5 on both the sides. So on the right side, it's just 0 divided by 5. So that means x plus 4 equals to 0 and x take away 4 equals to 0. X is equal to negative 4 and x is equal to positive 4. These are the two answers that we're going to get. All right. Again, this one is a 2 marks question. Is everyone clear with this? Repeat. Yeah, I'll just repeat once again. I'm saying over here that whenever in our quadratic equation, the x term is missing, we always find out the difference of two squares. Like if I have x square, take away 100 equals to 0, right? You know 100 is the square of 10, right? So whenever you see these kinds of numbers, you would write x take away 10, or like x add 10 in one bracket, x take away 10 in another bracket. That's how you factorize. For example, if I have x squared take away 144, 44, whose square is it? 144 is the square of 12. So you add x and 12 in one bracket, subtract x and 12 in another bracket, right? If I write x squared take away 36, Rita, can you please tell me how can I factorize this?
You'd find the numbers that add up to minus 36 first, which is
Over here, you just have to see the square. Like 36 is the square of which particular number, darling? Yeah?
so plus 6 and x minus 6.
Correct. That's it. That's what you do when x is missing, right? When x is missing. You would be doing this in the second question, not in this one. In this one, you would do like we have normally been doing it right now, isn't it? Find out A, B, C, use the entire, like all these steps and everything. When X is missing, we always use dots. Difference of two squares. All right. So now if I write, what shall I write? X squared take away 169. So Naisha, can you tell me how can I factorize this?
X plus 13, x minus 13.
Perfect, very good. If I write 3x square take away 75. Tam, can you tell me how can I factorize this?
You'd have 3 on the outside, bracket
Yes.
x squared minus 25.
And then, because you have to factorize it further, right?
And then x plus
Mm-hmm.
5 and x
Right.
minus 5.
Correct. 25 is the square of 5. So you write x plus 5 and x minus 5. All right. So whenever x is missing, either directly or indirectly, you are going to use this particular formula. All right. Important and will definitely be asked in your exam. If you're aiming for higher, there are high chances that it would be asked indirectly in the exams. You have done the topic of surge. In surge, you have learned about rationalization. You didn't realize it, but in every single question of rationalization, when there are more than one term in the denominator, you're always using this particular formula. See the questions? When you'd be revising them, you will realize that, okay, we are using that over there. All right. Okay. Now I'm going to move on to the next topic, which is quadratic formula, guys. But before I go to the quadratic formula, let me tell you, our intensive courses are starting from 20th December, all right, in which we would be covering all our topics. There is a special course that we are going to start for advanced mathematics. If you guys are aiming for like grade 8, grade 9, right? In this particular course, I would be specifically doing the grade 8, 9 practice questions only. All right, like if I'm doing, let's say I'm doing the topic of completing the square, right? Although that itself is a grade 8, 9 topic, all the questions from that particular topic are of grade 8 and 9, right? So I'll be doing that completely. Then if I talk about an easy topic like ratios, right? All the questions that can be formed from ratios of grade 8, 9 style, right? The difficult ones. So we would be doing the advanced math topics in this particular course. All right. And if in case like over here, you can see the numbers and everything, the details are mentioned. You can contact on these specific numbers. All right. There would be mock test discussion. There would be 2 separate classes for mock tests and then practicing those particular mock tests. And this is not just for math, this is for all the subjects. All right. If you need any details, you can contact to the team, the numbers that are given to you. Okay. Now, like I said, coming to the quadratic formula. Over here, whenever you're applying quadratic formula, again, the most important thing is to be able to figure out what is A, B, and C. And then you have to use this particular formula. I would want you guys to note down this formula and then how we are applying it in the question. That's what I'll be telling you right now. First, note it down, everyone. And if you are good at learning formulas, then that's the best thing. You will not spend time at least going through the formula sheet and all. I'm giving you guys 1 minute, quickly note down the formula. And those of you who have not switched on their cameras, I would really request them if they can please switch on their cameras. I hope everyone is done writing with this formula. You don't have to write down all the details. Don't worry. I'll explain you all of that. Guys, in case anywhere at any step you want me to go slow, or if you want me to go over something, please raise your hand or ask me in the class or drop me a text as well. All right. Okay, now I'm going on to move. I'm going to move on to the next question. Over here, first of all, see, whenever you're applying quadratic formula, you're always using the general form. When the equation is given in this form, that's when you use the formula. So you need a 0 on the right side. So you would do 3x squared plus 7x, take away 1 equals to 0. Now I would want Ahmed. Can you please tell me, Ahmed, that what would you do to find out the value? Like, what would be the values of A, B, and C?
The value of A would be A,
The number which is along with x squared. What do we have with x squared?
3,
3. What do we have with B?
7,
What do we have with C?
1.
Like -1, right? When there's C is basically the number that is not there with any other letter. All right, that's -1. So just use the formula. The formula would be given to you in your formula sheet, right? This is the formula that you have. Now see how we are applying it. That's really important. So over here, substitute the values. -7 plus minus square root of b square minus 4ac, right? Negative, negative would become positive over 2 times 3. So when you're solving it, -7 plus minus. On your calculator, you would do 49 plus 12, all right? And you would get square root of 61 over 2 times 3 is 6. Now, what does this plus minus stand for? This means that one time I'm going to add the terms, another time I'm going to subtract them. This is what you would be writing on your calculator. And of course, the rest of it is the work of your calculator, right? That's how you're going to get your answers. All right?
Yeah.
Yes, is it clear to everyone? At least say yes or no, guys. Rida, Naisha, Tam, Mamoon, Ahmad, Ryan. Clear, right? All right. Okay, now coming on to the next one. Sometimes it can also ask you to give you the question, give you the answer in this form. How do we do this? A is 1, B is -4, C is -1. Use it in the formula. Minus B plus minus square root of B square minus 4AC over 2A. Negative of -4 plus minus -4 squared minus 4AC over 2 times 1. So you have 4 plus minus. 16 plus 4 is 20 over 2, right? Now, the question does not say that you have to give your answer in a fraction format. Always simplify your surd whenever you're giving your answer in a surd form. Square root of 20, right? 20 is this multiple of 4. Whenever you have to simplify a surd, a number which is written in the surd, what do? You try to write it as the multiple of a square number. Square root of 4, 2. Surd 5 as it is, right? So this is how you write this. 4 plus minus 2 surd 5. And since you're dividing by 2, you can separate this up, right? So this would be your final answer. All right? 2 plus minus surd 5. Yes? Does anyone have any confusion until now? No, right? All right then. The next thing that we are going to get. Now see, of course, we have practiced this type of question, but what would an exam style question or the question that would be asked in the exam be looking like? It would look like this. All right. Or maybe like this, where you would have to use your concepts. Same concept, you have to apply your quadratic equations and everything in a similar format. This is like a 6 marks question, exam style question. Over here, how do I show that this equation holds? We are given a right angle triangle. Just use Pythagoras theorem. So you know x plus 1 squared a square plus b square equals c square. You just have to expand your brackets now. All right. If you guys are aware of the formulas, the shortcuts, right, use those. So over here, how do I do that? A simple formula, shorter way to solve it directly. Whenever you are adding terms and you're squaring them up, you square the first term, square the second term, and 2 times first term times second term. Now see, since I know this formula, I'm using it directly. X squared plus 1 plus 2x. That's what I get from the first bracket. X squared plus 4 plus 4x. That's what I get from the second bracket. X squared plus 25 plus 10x. I have done all this calculation mentally. All right, I have not literally learned this up. I've done it right in front of you by using this formula. Now you just have to rearrange. So take this everything on the other side. So we have 2x squared plus 6x plus 5. And the terms that are there on the right, when you shift them on the left side, you subtract them up. So you end up getting 2x squared minus x squared, x squared. 6x minus 10, like 6 minus 10 minus 4, and 5 minus 25, negative 20. That's exactly what I needed, no? That's my A part, 3 marks, right? And for the B part, just use quadratic formula. So in the B part, we would be doing minus B. Now see, I'm using it directly. Plus minus square root of B square minus 4AC over 2A. So over here, 4 plus minus square root of, you would be doing 16 plus 20 times 4. 20 times 4 is 80. So we get that as 96 over 2. Now you think, can you write 96 as a product of any square number? Yes, 96 is 16 times 6, right? So when you take the square root of 16 is 4. So you write 4 plus minus 4 surd 6 over 2 divided by 2. And your final answer would be 2 plus minus surd 6. Now, technically, when you do it on your calculator, surd 6 is 2.444 something. Right? You're finding the value of x, right? Can x be negative something when you solve it, when you take away 2 from this number, right? Can it be negative 0.44? Is there any problem if I get negative answer? You guys tell me. Can x be negative? Yes or no? Like I would want your word. Everyone text me. Can x be negative? Yes or no? Tam says yes. All right. What about the others? All right. Naisha also says yes. Yes, it can be negative. Most of the times we reject negative values in case my triangle had these sides, x plus 2, x plus 5, this type. In that case, if I was getting the value of x as negative, length cannot be negative, right? In that case, I would have said that the answer is this negative answer is not possible. Then I would be seeing only the positive answer. But over here, it's x plus 1. This is the smallest. So 1 take away 0.44 approximately. That would be like 0.56 something, right? This length, which is quite very possible, not a problem, right? If your entire length comes out to be negative, then you would say negative answer is not possible. Otherwise, over here, it's quite very possible. I hope everyone got this point. Yes? Yes, guys, got it? All right. Now I would want you guys to take screenshots of a few questions that I'm going to give you. Mark this question as your homework. The hint is that you have to work on the area. The area is given to you. Area of the shape is 24. So add the area of the first rectangle plus the area of second rectangle, and that would be equal to 24. That's one question that I'm giving you as your homework. Then the next question that would be your homework is, one second. I would want you guys to practice these few questions as your homework. Try these one out. Now, does anyone have any queries in whatever we have discussed so far? Yes, guys? If you have any queries, drop me your text. Because that's all for today from my side. If you have any questions, then you can drop me a text. And like I said, if you guys are interested in the GCSE Rapid course, this is like a revision course, right? For the timings, the schedules of the classes, you can talk to the team. Yeah, sure, Tam. 1 second. This homework question, are you talking about this one, Tam? Yeah. Screenshot. And if you guys want to practice the advanced level questions, I'll give you one for that as well. 1 second. Take a screenshot of these as well. These are some advanced level questions. Like not very advanced, I would say, but you will have to think about a little bit extra while doing these questions because this is going to confuse you. I would want you guys to try it out on your own. In case you have any confusion, I'll make sure that the next class that I'm going to start with would be with these questions then, in case you struggle anywhere with these. All right. So guys, that would be all from my side, right? Thank you so much for joining me today and thank you so much for your time. As I said, in case you have any queries, contact the numbers that are given to you on the screen. All right. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye. Take care.